to turn on. There we go.
And we're back.
We're back.
Will and Al.
Alan Will.
That's us. We're talking Citroen.
Citroen.
C5 Aircross.
So I'm pleased to see you've got your pronunciation of it correct, having been corrected by myself in the video.
Yeah, okay, well.
It's not Citroen.
Yeah.
Citroen.
We've had the car for a week. We've both driven it a fair amount. It's one of those cars, we say it in the video a few times over. Talk about a sleeper. Because unfortunately, and totally undeservedly, the vast majority of buyers in that category are not even going to go and look at that car.
Yeah.
You silly!
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those that
You are missing out.
it's a bit like the Mocha. You know, I think it's a totally underrated car.
Well,
And
by the way, Mocha, finalist car of the year 2023.
well, and deservedly so.
Absolutely, but
You know, so
totally deserved, but I had my doubts it would get the votes. Just because it happens sometimes.
journalists actually know what they're talking about on the odd occasion.
There are so many occasions where cars that deserve to make that shortlist
Don't get there.
don't get there.
Well, I'm
For-
glad.
And there are reasons, there are a lot of reasons, but where I've got to now, we digressing a touch, where I've got to congratulate the Stellantis group in South Africa, is they have made a very strong effort to make sure that the people who need to get the cars get them, i.e. the jury for Coty, etc., to make sure that they've experienced cars like the Mocha, for example, that they do get there.
Well, I mean, it's a case of it's good marketing.
Yeah, but there are cases where this doesn't happen.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. And that's where sometimes cars that deserve to be on finalist lists, for example, are missing.
Well, we've seen. I mean, you know, the Jeep is a big surprise there.
Yeah.
If it doesn't walk it, I'll
Yeah.
eat my.
Yeah.
I'm tired of saying "eat my hat." It seems to be an
told you,
expression that's
how many hats do you
stuck
want
in the
me
back
to
of my mind
lose
now.
with you eating them?
Let's go. Citroen.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So Aircross. First time I've had an Aircross.
Okay. I've done the C3
do you know-
Aircross. I've done the...
The previous version of the Aircross that I drove
Right.
was in fact a
What?
Pallas.
The good old DS.
We're talking 30 years ago, maybe
Yeah,
a
but-
bit longer. And back then, that was a groundbreaking car because that really was a magic carpet ride, and it's the
Well,
drive, it's the
The
ride
original DS
that's the
was
selling
launched
point.
in the late 1950s.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And it was totally
Groundbreaking.
revolutionary.
Groundbreaking.
Totally revolutionary. When they stopped making them in the early 70s, I think it
Well, we
was,
were all very sad.
they were still
Those of us that were born.
distinctive and
Not me.
revolutionary, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, they had the little knob on the floor for the accelerator. No, the brake. The brake was a little knob on the floor. I'm getting mixed up, okay? I have sadly never driven one.
Column-mounted 5-speed gearbox
okay.
back then.
No,
Air conditioning.
Wait, the
Power
power-mounted
windows.
5-speed was only in the last versions.
But nonetheless,
Because that's why it was called the DS5.
ahead of everybody else.
The Pallas was the final version, which was the luxury version,
right.
which added things like air cons, electric windows,
and seats that you sank into. You didn't sit on them.
Oh
you
no, those
sank
were
into
lounge.
them.
Those were lounge
It was
chairs. They
it was
weren't
the most
yeah.
phenomenal vehicle.
But there's a version of the DS, and those who know me know where I'm going. Do you know there was an official convertible?
I was just about to say, don't say it.
Do you know that the
my
last
God.
time I looked, a good convertible, €1 million. €1 million.
And it would look even better upside down, on fire, in a ditch.
I think I'm going to stop him being in these videos.
I don't know what is with you with ugly cabriolets.
Oh, come on, that thing
Really?
is not ugly.
No.
That thing is magnificent.
No,
It is.
just
Don't argue.
beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Don't argue. You see, Motor Matters.
Be
You see
a beholder.
you see his face is on the
Honestly.
logo. That's the one.
So
Okay.
the Citroen Aircross
Yes.
C5
Right.
is a good-looking car.
What
It
they've
would
done
be a
with
terrible cabriolet, so they'll never make one.
No,
Thank
but
God.
hang on, we're not talking SUVs here. We're talking then. Okay. But what they've done with the C5 Aircross
Maintained that
is
ride.
a C-segment SUV.
SUV.
Is a C-segment SUV.
Yes.
Is a C-segment SUV looks-wise 95% of the time.
Yeah.
What do you do? It's a sort of type of box.
Boxy thing with some
Okay.
wheels and some.
But
decent-
they've given it a lot of distinctive touches.
Yeah.
They really have. From the little air bump thingies,
Yeah,
etc., etc. So when you see one driving past you on the road, you're not going to say, there goes another SUV.
Yeah.
You're going to say, which one's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, which I always like.
And the tragedy about it is, as soon as you realize it's Citroen, everyone's going to go, "Oh, it's just a Citroen."
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it, you know, it's so much more. And this is what our point was: is that the ride on this thing is, and that's why I harken back to the Plus, is on a different level.
But the bigger, more important, the ride that I experienced was it's got this incredibly pliant, compliant, call it what you want, suspension for bumps. I mean, for South Africa, for potholes, etc., etc.
God.
It's built for it.
It's
But
yeah.
the contrast was put it through a little section of twisties, get it going, probably put it into sport mode, and it sucks down a little.
You suddenly realize it's not going to actually put
You're
you in a
not,
bush.
the whole body is not doing that
No.
side from side to side, etc., like you'll get in some similar competitors.
Yeah. You're not going to roll across
No, no.
across the bend.
I took it through to Hearties, and I was in that little section. I looked at the speedo and said, "Ooh, I'm doing more than I usually do." It was as simple as that. It was that actual reaction where it's not let's push it.
No.
It was I'm comfortable. I'm cruising along. I'm not feeling anything. Oh, I'm going faster than I thought.
It's not a
was one of those.
It's not a sports SUV or
Nah,
a sports
not at
car.
all. Not
but
at all.
you'd get into trouble quicker than you think because
That's the point,
it
yeah.
has the
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah. The 121 kilowatts, 240 Newton meters doesn't sound that
It's not
impressive.
massive.
Relative in the market.
How much is the Tonale in terms of power?
Gee, now you.
A little bit more.
Yeah, but you
not a
remember,
huge amount.
You remember because the Tonale is hybrid
And
now.
it's a
It's the
hybrid,
hybrid,
yeah.
so that's why I hesitated to
Yes,
answer because
yeah.
you're digressing again. But these formulae they use
For
when they add when you've got a hybrid where they take the petrol and the electric, they add them together, but they don't add them together.
it makes our lives very difficult to try and
I'm-
predict what we actually
I'm
dealing with.
confused.
Yeah.
I'm totally and utterly confused by this,
Well.
how they work it out. So I quote manufacturers' figures and thank you very much. But that's the Tonale. But the
You notice
Tonale
how I
is-
just let you go past with your FunQs there?
Yeah.
Just let you slide through it.
But it is. It's
Yeah,
what it
no,
is.
yeah. For those who have to understand it, it's not that confusing.
No, come on.
But it's just like trying to translate it into what's actually on the road is
Is the point.
a bit more
Yeah,
tricky.
yeah, yeah.
It makes
No,
our lives
100%.
harder,
That's the thing.
challenges us,
I mean,
stretches our intellectual
and
capabilities.
as more and more hybrids start arriving,
It's going to become an issue.
well, you know what the issue actually is more than anything?
We need to
Is
have more drag
how
races.
how do we compare them?
More drag races.
But how do we compare them
Drag
to
races.
each other? Yeah, but come on. A C5 Aircross is not a car to drag race in.
That shut him up.
Right
but,
or
but
wrong?
that's not a hybrid.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Goodbye. I don't know what. Wait.
There we go.
There, exactly. That. Oh, he looks so
Oh
much
wait,
better.
I feel French.
He looks so much better now.
I need my baguette and my camembert. So
Yeah, look, the crux of that car,
it's surprisingly impressive.
it is, the versatility is great.
Yes.
Those three individual rear
Yes.
seats that I've got to mention.
Big boot, full size spare.
Well, you've also got the
Nice.
adjustment on the
Yes.
legroom for those three seats individually.
For rake and for tilt. Yeah.
backrest recline. And you can also obviously add a bit of boot space
Yeah.
while still having the seats as opposed to just folding them flat.
And it's
Got all those things. Full size
proper-
spare.
proper
Thank
five
you.
seater. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
No,
It's got all those things. It's priced comparable to the German stroke Korean
Yeah.
competitors.
and
It's there with them all.
and it's stable mates.
Yeah,
So
correct. It's when I first got into it, it was kind of, it's going to be more expensive than a lot of the others because unfortunately for them, and there's nothing anyone can do, there is a price penalty, I'll call it, on the European cars at the moment. It's just the way life works, and duties and exchange rates and all the rest. Yet they've managed to keep this one in the ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those cars that, as I said, we've said it a couple of times, it's kind of like you need to drive it just to experience it, to understand
That's the point.
something different.
That's
And
the crux, yeah.
And despite it being French, and when I say despite it being French, because of its Frenchness, it's a delight, and it feels like it's engineered to last.
That's it.
Yeah. It's not a Citroen that's just going to fall apart like the old C2s, but still carry on. This is a modern Citroen.
This is a modern, well-built.
It's a part of the Stellantis group. They are you're not allowed to.
Technology's all there, safety's all there.
Exactly. You're not allowed to take shortcuts anymore. It's got to be done correctly.
And before again everybody jumps at me, please remember we review new cars.
Yeah.
Don't jump on us about resale value and value in 3 or 5 years' time.
We can only
it'll
guess.
be. I will give you a 90% L&R guarantee it'll still be running perfectly with no issues in 3 to 5 years' time.
Yeah.
That I'm comfortable and happy
Absolutely.
with.
Yeah.
But I cannot predict resale value.
Yeah, no, that's a crystal ball that changes all the time, actually.
So this channel is about new cars. Every now and then we may feature something else when we do something different, but our general and this kind of review or podcast chat
is
we're
about
talking
new cars. Yeah.
a new car. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah. I have to give this one two thumbs up. I have to.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We're doing a lot of two thumbs.
Hey, hang on.
We're doing too many two thumbs.
2 hats.
Why have we got?
Most
Why
matters.
are we doing so many two thumbs recently?
Because
Just
we've
give
had
us
some
some
good
good cars.
We've had some
Let's
good
get some
cars.
real rubbish together so we can have a good time panning it. Who's got rubbish cars? Please send them to us. We'll send them to him.
The problem is the South African market, they are pretty much all good.
You can't actually bring a crap car to South Africa anymore because you just get taken out.
Well, that's the point. The market doesn't actually accept it.
So in this segment for that car, yes, 2 thumbs up.
100%. From us,
Catch you next time.
we see you next time.
Haha, said it first.